everybody, how you doing today? Today we're going to do the RoboRock S7 through my main floor plan again, this time with the mopping attachment attached. And we're going to see how well this guy mops, as well as how good the VibraRise technology works on this guy. I'm curious if it's going to lift up enough to clear my carpet. This carpet in this home right now, it's kind of a thinner carpet, kind of a base model carpet that comes with any house basically. I do have new carpet coming in a few weeks, and it's much thicker. So I'll be revisiting this test in a couple weeks, and we'll see if the mopping attachment can lift higher up on the thicker carpets, which I think I've read a couple of reviews that is an issue. So we'll see about that soon. So we're going to clean this guy through most of my floor plan. Obviously all the hard areas. And then I no-go zoned a couple of the areas that are just carpet, just for this test to make it a little bit quicker, because we're more focused on the mopping ability than anything else. So let me go and show you the area that it needs to clean. It should completely avoid this room, so it should clean all of this. I have some old testing stains that I put down. That's some dried on pudding. I don't expect it to clean that up, because really no vacuum / mop has been able to unless you spray it first. And over here, I threw down just a little bit of ketchup and I smeared it on. Just wanted to see if it can get ketchup up. And it might be able to, but I doubt it as well. Because with all my tests with all the robot vacuum mops, they really just cannot get up stains at all. Even the ones that vibrate. Let's go to move into this next section. I'm going to have it go and vacuum this room. And then here's the main dining room kitchen area. I put down a little bit of ketchup here too. Just smeared a little bit there. This should not be that hard to get up. And then in here I put a little bit more right there, just to see if it's able to get it up. And there are some dried on thick stains. I don't expect that to be cleaned up at all. Then of course it's going to go into my laundry room, bathroom, and then my entryway here. So what do you guys think? Is this guy going to do a good job? Is it going to be better than all the other vacuuming mops that you have seen on this channel? I hope it is. I hope I can say it's one of the best, but from everything I've done, there's not yet a mopping robot vacuum that I personally like.
Starting to clean.
Let's see if this raises up right off the bat, because it should know it's on carpet. So I learned right away, this will not back up on carpet if you have the mopping attachment attached on carpet. So if you plan on mopping, go ahead and put this on a hard floor surface, or it'll mess up and do this every time. What are you doing, bro? And remember, I put that no-go zone in here, so it shouldn't even come really past this line. Maybe that's what tricked it when it was backing up. As you can see, it's still fully in contact with the carpet. So it should lower. Okay, so it lowered as you saw there. Alright everyone, I went ahead and made the mopping pad completely wet, which you're actually supposed to do before a test. It says if you know you're ready to mop, go ahead and make it wet. If you have it scheduled to mop, leave it dry. So I went ahead and made the mop saturated now. So we should see a full line as it's cleaning. So let's go ahead and start it back up.
Resuming. Positioning. Stand by.
Position this. So it does vibrate. I put my hand back there and I can feel it vibrating slightly. So it's not like a huge vibration that this thing gives off. As you can see, much wetter. Let's see when it hits carpet here if we can see it go up. We're supposed to. As you can see, it's fully touching the carpet, and this is a rather thin carpet, So I don't know, personally I think this VibraRise is just a gimmick. You're still going to get part of your carpet wet regardless. Let me feel this real quick. Yeah, oh yeah, it's like soaking wet right there. Oh, it's soaking wet even way over here. So, I don't know, I think it's a gimmick. You guys know how I feel about mopping robots anyways. I think they're a joke. If you want a robot that's going to mop, just buy simply a mopping robot like the Narwhal or the iLife ShineBot. That thing does a good job mopping. This thing, I mean, it's wet here, guys. It really is. So even on this thin carpet, the VibraRise doesn't really do anything. I think these manufacturers are wasting their time with mopping. Let me know in the comments if you guys actually care about vacuuming robots that mop as well. And if you've actually found one that does a great job. See if it's wet way over here. Not as wet, but it's definitely damp. So I think it's still producing water, but I'm gonna let this guy go, do its thing, and then we'll check how well it did with the ketchup stains and the other stains I put in the entryway. Personally, just give me a robot vacuum that vacuums really well. Why do you think iRobot hasn't done, at least in the US, I think they're making one now, but why do you think they haven't done a mopping robot yet with a vacuum? This thing's struggling here. What's it doing? And yes, the camera is on top of the dome, so it's not affecting the LiDAR. Real quick, it's been sitting here for a while. Let's see how wet this is. Yeah, it's almost soaking wet here, guys. Like, this VibraRise is a joke. It's a gimmick. It's basically just shaking its butt on the carpet, whereas it's risen too much for the hard floor. As you can see, the VibraRise is nowhere near as tall as it needs to be. It's literally a gimmick. Alright everybody, it's been cleaning just for a little while now. It's only cleaned really in this carpeted living room. And it just said finished cleaning, and now it says cannot find the dock again. So I don't know what's going on with this thing. I'm not that impressed. I think it's got good cleaning abilities, but it didn't even go and mop any of the hard floors. It went around my entryway, but it didn't even go into my kitchen at all. So not sure what's going on with this guy. I'm not very happy overall so far. As you can see, finished cleaning, returning to dock. Could not find the dock, and that's immediately after it says finished cleaning, because it's not stuck there. I could understand if it was stuck, but it just decided to stop cleaning right there on that corner. So not sure what's going on. And as you can see here, guys, so it's supposed to do the full floor plan minus the no-go zones. You can even see it only did that living room and then outlined my entryway and then stopped and got stuck. Well, it actually didn't even say it got stuck, it just didn't even try to find the dock. So once again, I'm having issues with another robot vacuum. Remember, I have the S5 and I've always praised that thing. I've never had any issues whatsoever with the S5. This guy started here, went around the kitchen, down through here, cleaned the whole living room, and said, you know what, that's enough. I don't feel like cleaning no more. So not sure what's going on once again. Definitely disappointed so far. I can't even map this. So if I want to do just a mopping run, I can't even do that because I have carpet in between each hard area. So it's got to travel through the carpet to get to the hard area. And other than, maybe I'll make another no-go zone over here, and I will make it like diagonal so it, you know, can drive through there at least and then get to this other hard floor. But I'm not very happy so far with this guy. The first just straight up vacuuming test it did from my prior video, it looked good. It did a really good job. But now with this mapping abilities that I can't make a map, and now the mopping feature doesn't seem that great. Alright guys, once again, having issues. I cannot believe I can't make a map with the RoboRock S7. Makes no sense to me. I keep getting errors left and right. So the only way for me to do this test at all is by throwing in no-go zones and having it go the route that I want it to go without cleaning all the carpet. So I want to do just a mopping test, but I'm unable to do so because I can't map the rooms. So I add another no-go zone up in my living room, and I left it enough to where I should be able to drive through and get to the hard floor. And I just want to see if this mop is even good. I really don't see it being better than any of the other mops I've tested. I've tested two to three other mops that oscillate, and they oscillate more than this guy does. So I don't know. I don't have high hopes for this vacuum as far as being a mop. I think if you just want this for just vacuuming, it's probably going to be very good. But I'm going to send this back out. I'm going to do a deep clean. I want to see this mopping ability, and we're going to send this out on a deep clean.
Starting to clean.
So the mopping pad is saturated. There's plenty of water left because it didn't do like hardly any mopping on that last run. Probably got my carpet more wet than it did the entire hard floor surface that it went over. And now it's doing this. So I believe it did that because the mopping attachment's on the back, and it can't back up because the mopping attachment. So I guess you really have to have this on a hard floor if you're mopping. You see how fast this guy's going? Even if it's oscillating and it's going over, say, this ketchup that it's going to hit here in just a minute, it's not going to be able to get that ketchup up at all without spraying it before. But I've said that on every single robot vacuum mop that I've tested. That is what if you want a mopping robot, you get a mopping robot that's dedicated for mopping, like the narwhal there. That will outperform this 10 times if you're talking just strictly mopping. Alright guys, I'm going to let this go for a little bit. Once it gets done with this perimeter, it should start going in and out of its own lines and mopping. I'll start recording again once it starts mopping correctly. Alright guys, we are back. It's been running good this time. It's been cleaning for 43 minutes. And as you can see on the map, this is the deep cleaning cycle. So you can see those lines are much tighter. So instead of going over, say, 6 inches, like most cleaner robots will, it'll only go over like 4. So it's really going over the same area twice because of the width of the mopping pad. So it looks like it already went over this ketchup stain that's supposed to be over here. Let's take a look at how well it got it up, if at all. So there it is. Unfortunately, even the newest RoboRocks with oscillating pads, they just simply cannot get up any type of stain. And it's not just RoboRock's fault on this. It's every single mopping robot I've ever tested. Even that high-end mopping narwhal. Every single mopping robot, it needs to be squirted with water before you send it out, and it will completely pick this up. Alright guys, as you can see, I made it in this room finally. And I'm watching the amount of water that's coming out. As you can see, it's only doing a line of water right down the very middle of the robot. So remember, this was fully saturated before the test. So the water saturation process is not very good. So as you can see, it's just literally down the middle of this robot. Maybe only 3 inches of the entire pad is still wet. So it's not really going to be doing a very good job cleaning. So it's going to go ahead and finish up in here. This should be the last room it needs to do. And I will show you the difference between right now and after it's done. Hopefully you can see it's pretty dirty. There's quite a few spots that really need to be cleaned up. Like this is a big spot that I can pretty much guarantee it won't get up. So we'll see the difference after. No issues that I've seen at all with slippage. As you can see, it's just definitely not putting down water as wide as the mopping pad is. But with the heavy duty deep cleaning, it's enough to where it's still saturating the floor completely. But I don't think you get the same results on standard mopping. Alright everybody, we are done, and this time it did find the dock, so that's good news. It completely avoided the no-go zones, which is great, so that works perfectly. It did the entire area this time with no issues. And this thing has changed my mind back and forth. From the beginning of this test, I thought the mopping was just an absolute joke. But by the time it was done and seeing the map and watching it clean my entryway, I'd say my opinion's changed a little bit, which I'll tell you that at the final part of this video. But let's go ahead and see the app. Once again, as you can see in here, those lines are very close together. So it is a deep clean, which I really like that it has that feature. So if you're going to mop quite often, it's probably recommended that you have this on a hard floor and not a carpeted floor. Another thing I noticed, it'll come back and it'll just sit here. So right now this mop pad is completely soaked. So I'm going to remove it and then feel the carpet below. And I'm assuming this carpet's going to be very saturated with water.
Mop mount removed. Charging.
Yeah, I wouldn't say saturated, but it's a little bit damp. Probably not that big of a deal. And then here is the dirt that it picked up, so you can see it definitely got up some filth. So let's go ahead and take a look at the job it did. Let's start over here. See if it got up any of these stains. I will say, listen, you can hear stickiness under my feet. And walking through here before, it was not making the sticky sound. So that's another issue I see with these mopping robots that have just simply a pad. Whatever it picks up, it's just going to drive around and spread it kind of around the entire area. So I'm assuming when I go in the other room, it's also going to be a bit sticky. So that's not good. Here's the ketchup. It pretty much did nothing at all to pick up this ketchup, which I kind of expected. This yogurt mess, absolutely nothing. And then this as well, nothing, which once again, I fully expected. You have to get these wet before you send out any type of mopping robot. Otherwise, they're just not going to do anything. Let's check out the ketchup in here. As you can see, there's still a little bit there. And you can almost see like the outline of where I smeared the ketchup. You can hear stickiness in here as well, which before the test, my shoes were not sticky like this. And over here, once again, this ketchup, it just, mopping robots are not good, period. With vacuums, I should say. I mean, even over here, you can hear it in my shoes. It is just sticky everywhere now after the test. And to me, that's a big problem. I bet if I sent out this narwhal, which is more of a dedicated mop, because it goes back and cleans its pads every like 5 to 10 minutes, walking through here and the front, it would not be sticky at all. Maybe I'll do that in the next test. Let me know in the comments if you want to see that. I mean, you can hear it everywhere I walk. Wow, that's not good, guys. Alright guys, so to conclude this video, it's just like every other mopping robot. To me, they need to focus on just the vacuum ability. If you want to use this as just a vacuum, it's a great robot vacuum. The mop, I'd say, it's definitely going to be better than a standard mop that just has the pad and doesn't oscillate. But it doesn't oscillate really all that much. As you can see, it really only oscillates with the stitching. So it doesn't oscillate way over here and do much cleaning around the perimeter of the entire robot. Unless you're doing deep cleaning, which I think the deep cleaning is definitely a must. I don't know, I just don't care for mopping robots. I don't recommend them. So as far as a vacuuming robot, this thing's great. Mopping, it's going to be better than nothing, of course. But if you wanted to have it actually mop and get up any type of stains whatsoever, it's just not going to do it. No robot vacuum mop is going to do it unless you spray it down. Remember that, guys. If you have any type of stain whatsoever, spray it down. But then you run into the problem of having sticky floors after these guys go. My floors were not sticky before this guy cleaned. And could that have been due to the little bit of the catch-up? Sure. But it just shows that it's spreading around the stickiness throughout the entire floor plan, because my front entryway was not sticky and the rest of this floor plan was not sticky before this test. The VibraRise, I don't really care about that. It's still got my carpet wet. This is thin carpet and it just does not lift it up enough to completely avoid the carpet, and it's going to get your carpet wet regardless. So to me, that's kind of a gimmick. It's a cool feature and something that seems really cool, but it just doesn't work as advertised. And like I said earlier, I'm going to be getting much thicker carpet soon, and I can pretty much guarantee it's not going to go over that carpet. It might even drag it down and make this thing go slower. Alright guys, that's pretty much going to wrap up this video. The next video, I'll either have this down in the testing room, or I'm going to get that white board and do another cleanup test with a mop on that and see how well it actually does overall on cleaning up those different stains. Let me know down in the comments what other tests you'd like to see with this. Thanks for watching, like and subscribe, and have an awesome day. See ya.